ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick,
Oh, too little to party. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another dinosaur action figure review on the Creative Beast Studios Beasts of the Mesozoic Raptor series Velociraptor Mongoliensis Black version in 1/6 scale. If you're trying to pick this up, you can do so.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And a big thanks to Creative Beast Studio and David Silva for sending this out my way. David Silva is a fantastic sculptor. He works for NECA Toys, and he does this on the side, man, and this is incredible looking already. I love that we get this red foil right over here on the top. That looks really cool. Nice looking packaging. Come around right over here. You can see on the back, there's this whole checklist of raptors, so that's pretty amazing. There's also a whole bio and read-up right over here with specs on the Velociraptor Mongoliensis, and then on the side right here, it says Beasts of the Mesozoic, and then on the top, same thing. On the bottom, you can see the people responsible for creating this figure, along with some warning stuff right there, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's our black Mongoliensis Velociraptor figure out of the packaging, and wow, this is an incredible piece. I mean, the accuracy right over here with how dinosaurs actually looked is really the main selling point with this thing, and that is just really awesome. I try to pose them around like a chicken a little bit because, you know, raptors and chickens, you know, same family and all that. But aside from the awesome paint, sculpt, and articulation on this figure, we get some decent accessories as well. So let's take a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at this Velociraptor. Now this does come with its own set of directions, so I do recommend reading through these before you start messing around with the figure. So here's everything that comes with the figure. One thing that I like is that you can take the insert from the packaging right there and use it as a backdrop if you'd like. You also get this trading card, which I think is really cool. So nice image right there. We saw this on the packaging. Looks really good. And then on the back you get some specs, a little read up again. And then there's this base, which I really like a lot. Nice sculpt and paint detail throughout on this thing. I love those highlights. So that is really dope. I like that. The rocks look really good right here. Like there's a creek running through this at some point, you know? I don't know. I really dig that. Nice attention to detail. And then the base works out really well. It has this stand right here. You could go ahead and detach right there, and you get three different lengths. Sorry, so if you want to get an aerial pose, there's a really tall one. There's this shorter one, and then this super short one. And there's this little brace or this little clamp. It doesn't like close or anything, but you could use that as a support to put underneath the dinosaur. And then you get this added piece right here, which is actually really helpful, so you can use that to angle this clamp, which works out great. So you can go ahead and plug these three together, and then you can get this angled however you'd like. So that's really cool, and it's articulated on a ball joint here, and then it's articulated at the very base of it right over there. You get these interchangeable toes, so I'll get a closer look at these a little bit later on. I'm not sure exactly what the significance of the articulated toes is. They look very similar to each other. Well, I guess you get the splayed out toes right here, and then you get the closed in toes. So, you know, I don't know. I guess not totally necessary, but I guess if you want to make it look a little bit more realistic, you can go ahead and do that. You know, if you don't have your Velociraptor running, you know, why would the toes be all splayed out if it's not running? So that makes sense. So that looks pretty good. It actually changes the angle of the foot too. So you can see on this right side, the toes are bent in a way where it's lunging or running or something like that. But like with this other set of toes, you could have them just like resting or sitting down. So I guess that's how that's supposed to work. I'm going to try not to gush over every single little detail about this figure, but this is truly amazing. This is as accurate as we can actually ever see a dinosaur, I think, except for that Ankylosaurus that they actually found with skin on it. I was like, what? But this thing looks amazing. It blows my mind because long before the Jurassic Park movie came out, my brother and I were nerds about dinosaurs, and this was not my favorite dinosaur. My favorite dinosaur was Deinonychus, which is what the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park is based off of. This is just a little 2-foot tall raptor, and this is a 1/6 scale collectible figure. Keep that in mind. So if it seems like it's a little bit large, it's going to look a lot smaller next to a 1/6 scale human figure, which I'll compare later on. But man, look at that head sculpt. So much detail going on. The teeth look great. I love how the tongue is kind of slipping up just a little bit, and then you can see these beady eyes right over here. And then you could go ahead and open the mouth, and that looks great. Nice paint detail. The tongue looks really good. Get all these sharp teeth right here, which don't feel too sharp, but you could definitely feel them in there. That is just so cool, man. Very pleased with that. I mean, yeah, it just makes sense. Why would they not have feathers? Bone structures and everything just looks so similar to birds and chickens and stuff right now. So yeah, it's no wonder that this guy, you know, would actually be closer looking to a chicken than it would be to a giant lizard. But man, that looks so dope. I love how the feathers came out. The paint detail right here coming over the black looks really good. I like that. Looks really nice with the browns over here too. Really nice looking figure. I really dig it. You got some soft material throughout over here, so it makes it very easy to move around. Here's the feather all splayed out right there. That looks really good. Love that. Oh man, and then the fading going on underneath right here looks really nice too. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to gush over, you know, having these different colors right here at the bottom look great. I love how the fading looks. The legs look really good. I knocked over his toes. I did not port that in all the way, but yeah, that looks really good right there on the thigh. The legs look great. Even the bottom of the feet look really good. You get that signature raptor talon that we all know of. That looks fantastic. And looking at the back of the figure right here, I do see a little inconsistency with the brown paint. That is a little irksome. Like this little piece right here just seems like it's a little bit off from the rest of the figure, you know? It's light at the bottom, but it just doesn't really match as well as I think it could. But the tail looks really good. So this part and this part matches, but just not this part right here. But a minor gripe. Then the rest of this tail looks really good too with the paint detail and sculpt. You get a bendy wire in there, which I'll demonstrate on how posable it is in just a second. But man, this is cool. Oh man, I'm loving this thing. This is just too dope. Damn it, this figure is genius. So while you can't have the figure standing on his own without the stand with these splayed out toes, with more closed in relaxed toes, you can get him standing on his own without the stand, which I think is just incredible. But anyway, getting on to the rest of the articulation, you get the jaw articulation right there. You get a head joint that turns side to side, and you can make his head look down a little bit, and it looks up a whole bunch more so. You get great head pivoting right over here. One thing I love about the articulation is that there's these little rubbery sleeve pieces, like right here, this just covers up another joint, or the head joint anyway. So it looks like there's like two different head joints here, but it's just one head joint really, and you get this sleeve covering this up. You also get a neck joint. Whoa, and I just popped that off. Okay, so that happened for the first time, but let's see how well it pops right back in, and there it goes. So you can turn this a little bit without popping it off right there, and it will move down and up some. You get these shoulder joints right here, so you can move the wings outward, and it'll rotate right here a full 360, and that's really cool. You get an elbow joint right there, and then you also get this wrist joint for the hand moving up and down right over there. He's just waving at you. Cool, right? And then you get this whole midsection joint. The torso joint can rotate a bit. You get some pivoting, and it moves down, it moves back, and you get some pivoting right here, and you can rotate. And then the hip joints right here, they can move outward. Oop, I just popped that off. See, for the review, I tend to really push it with articulation, but you can move the hips outward that far, and they move in quite a bit, and you can rotate back, rotate forward. You get a knee joint right here, and you can extend it, and it rotates at the knee. And then this joint I do feel like I wish was a little bit more stiff. It just moves up and down. Then you also get a hinge for these toes right here. You get a separate hinge for that infamous talon, and then you could rotate the toes side to side. And then the tail has a joint right here. You could rotate that, and you could turn it side to side. It also has a hinge. And then you also get this tail piece that can move up and down. And then we get the bendy wire in the tail, and you could bend this all the way in to almost the very, very end of this thing. That is awesome. Wow. Tons of articulation on this piece. It's incredible. Now, to measure out the height of this Velociraptor while standing on its own 2 feet like that, you can see that it's standing at about 6.5 inches tall. And then measuring the figure from nose to tail, you can see that it's standing just at about 12 inches across. Maybe just a little bit less than 12 inches. And then for a Velociraptor figure and statue comparison, we have the Velociraptor Blue from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, made by Mattel. And then we have Rebor's Velociraptor Winston, which is a great looking piece. I never reviewed this, but I always thought this was a stellar looking statue right here. But yeah, you can see how this Velociraptor is much taller than these other two, and of course a lot more accurate. And then to compare this 1/6 scale Beast of the Mesozoic's Raptor figure next to a 1/6 scale human figure, we have the Hot Toys Star-Lord, of course, you know, a guy who played Owen, also played Star-Lord. Anyway, these two look great. I love the scaling right here. This is actually always what I imagine the height of a Velociraptor to look like. Again, it being Deinonychus, the much taller version of this type of creature. So yeah, I'm very stoked about the scaling of this. That looks really good to me. And then here's our Beasts of the Mesozoic Velociraptor figure next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And sorry, no stop motion today, you guys, or the next few videos, because I'm at Comic-Con right now and doing like 4 reviews in one day. It's nuts, man! So this thing is incredible. It is quite a bit of fun. I'm just thoroughly impressed with this. I mean, just the whole accuracy thing, or how correct this is based on what they found of fossils of Velociraptor. I just think it's absolutely amazing. I think it just looks astounding. The paint looks amazing. The sculpt is amazing. I love the articulation on this thing. I guess my biggest gripe is just that right heel hinge gets loose on me, but aside from that, man, this thing is just absolutely unbelievable, and especially for the price point as well, man. Now, this is the most expensive one that I was able to find, and that's like about 50 bucks, but a bunch of them are selling for like 35 bucks, and those look amazing too. I hope to get more of these. I'm likely to pick some up, and at that price range, I'm giving this figure a Sun rating of
I love it!
Then I'd like to know what you guys think. If you're a fan of dinosaurs, I think you're gonna feel the same way about this thing, man. I'd like to know what you think though, so let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you like the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And a big thanks to all these people over here that support this YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to follow me on the Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Stardust. Everything I talked about, links in the description below, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!
I'm gonna play with my toys today. Well, I don't care what my people say. I'm gonna play with my toys today. Can't have one, I gotta get them all. Time to make a trip to the local mall. Oh yeah!
That's crispy.
Hey, I'm ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
We're shot. Your face is set. We're shot.